Hi everybody, and welcome to Module 1. In this video I'm just going to kind of try to briefly go over what you'll want to do. I've got the checklist printed out, and I'm just going to kind of go down the list, talk you through it. I want to remind you that when you work through the module, a lot of the materials are displayed on the class wiki, which is located at k12texters.wiki.wescott.edu, and it should pipe right through CourseDen. You shouldn't have to log in or anything like that, but sometimes you have to. So if you're having any issues seeing content, make sure that you check out the working through this module reminder. It's like the second item underneath the video that you're watching right now, so that you remember what you can do to actually make the content show if you have to. There's a glitch. Next week, so this is a 2-week module. Last week's module was only 1 week, but this module and all future modules will be 2 or more weeks. So this one's a 2-weeker. In the first week, there's no class meeting scheduled, but I've actually scheduled 3 meetings for the second week of this module. The purpose of that meeting is to teach you how to podcast. So if you're at all worried about it, come to the meeting. There's going to be 2 face-to-face meetings and 1 online one. And I've tried to select times that work for me. Unfortunately, I don't have much time, but so I hope that if you need a face-to-face session that you're able to make one of the ones that I've scheduled. And I've also got an online one kind of late at night on, I think, a Wednesday. And I don't like to be awake at that time, but I'm going to do that because I'm hoping to catch the people that feel like they need some kind of live, synchronous kind of experience where I teach you how to podcast. And I've done it both ways before. Usually the people that benefit from the live kind of session prefer coming face-to-face, but there are advantages to the online as well. Last January when it snowed, I had to do all of my class meetings online, which was better than nothing, I think. Alright, so in this module, there's basically 2 things that you do. One of those things is you have to create your own wiki. Like I've had you coming in and looking at stuff on my wiki. You're going to use my wiki. You've joined the class wiki. You've uploaded your photo to the University Wikispaces domain, so that when you do stuff on my wiki, our class wiki, your picture shows up next to your name and all that kind of stuff. So that's what you've done last week on sort of the class wiki. But this week you're going to create your own wiki, and you have to decide, do I do that in the West Georgia wiki domain, or do I do that outside on the public wikispaces.com domain? So I have a little chart I've created where I kind of compare the 2 and hopefully help you make the right decision. It doesn't matter to me which one you use, so just decide what you're comfortable with. And then you're going to make this wiki. You're going to make it look exactly like my example. And let me make this clear, you don't have to have all your work done yet, because this wiki you're making is going to be your portfolio that you're going to submit throughout the semester, and then finally, one last time, you're going to be like so happy. Once everything's finished on it, you're going to submit it as your final portfolio. So you're going to be building your final portfolio as you go through the rest of the semester on this wiki that you make. You want it, it's not going to have anything in it hardly. It's going to look exactly like my example, except you might add some introductory material. I ask you to add a few things, just a few little things, but for the most part it's just bafflingly empty, and don't worry about that. That's the way it's supposed to be, okay? And then from with the first reading onward, you're going to start adding things to different pages, okay? I do want you to browse some examples of educational wikis just to see how people are using them in classrooms around the world. There's a bunch of really cool things up there, and I see they've updated it pretty recently with some new wikis that I've never seen before. Then we get to the module reading. Go ahead and read all about the readings. There's 3 chapters you're going to read this semester. This week you're just going to read chapter 1 of the Roblier textbook, which will give you kind of just a broad perspective about technology in the classroom. It gives you a little bit of history. It'll talk to you a little bit about why, there's ideas for why you would integrate technology, and you may have additional ones that aren't noted in the book, but go ahead and, as a pre-exercise, you might ask yourself, why use technology? Some of you probably can't stand it and don't think it has a place in the classroom. But I challenge all of you to go ahead and just kind of jot down that note before you enter the textbook reading. And then when you get to that section, you'll see there may be some more reasons that you hadn't thought of. Let's see, I'm kind of flipping through the book. There's something I wanted to say about it. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. So the first few chapters of this book are great for giving you kind of a big picture, idea of why technology might be helpful in the classroom. Chapter 2 kind of goes into pedagogy, and it goes into ways you can use technology to teach directly, so direct instruction like what I'm doing to you right now, where you have to listen to me and I'm lecturing you. But it also has ideas for more constructivist ways of using technology. So the thing that makes me kind of baffled or sad about my own design of this class is you were supposed to read these chapters and then have a discussion, and I just discovered in the course plan that I forgot to put that discussion in, or maybe I made an executive decision at some point that I can't remember a couple of weeks back that you didn't need to do that discussion, or there wasn't enough room. That could have been it. It could be that I just don't want to kill you like I always seem to kill the students with just quantity of work. So I may have done that. So this is it. This is your primer on technology integration. I want you to try to learn as much as you can from this and try to see if you can apply it to the projects that we work on. And then you're gonna be working together to create an instructional technology enhanced unit plan in maybe a month. If you look in the course plan, it's the group it's assignments, and so a lot of what you learned here can come in handy. And also, this is the other book you're reading, one chapter from it, Understanding by Design. You may be familiar with it. It's a great model for designing instruction. If you find unit planning, lesson planning confusing, you're not alone, because it's taught in so many different ways, and there's so many different little ideas bouncing around, and it's taught, in my opinion, a lot of people wander around confused about instructional design, and this book is just fabulous for giving you some stability and helping you to understand it philosophically, practically, how to make sense of it, and how to design good instruction. I think it's a really good framework. It's what the state of Georgia recommends. I think if you go to the Georgia Department of Ed, I don't know what the technical term is, but we in Georgia are a UBD state somehow. A lot of the plans that are on the Georgia Department of Ed are done in this format, and then I know a lot of school districts, they post their unit plans in the UBD format. And I also know that in the College of Ed, a lot of people teach it. So some of you are already familiar with it, and that's good. I want you to help the folks that aren't as familiar, and I myself am still getting familiar. I've been working with it for a little over a year, and I still have a lot to learn myself. All right, so that's the readings. You only do one chapter this week. You are going to respond to that chapter. You're going to, once you set up your wiki foundation before you get to the reading, and then you do the reading, and it has like 3 questions or something over the first chapter. That's what you do with that. Let me look back at my checklist. Okay, you're also going to submit the link to your, this all sounds like gobbledygook right now, but you're going to submit the link to the page on which you answer the questions about the one chapter. And that's going to panic some of you guys, because you're going to think, but I haven't read the other 2 chapters and I'm submitting the page that has just the one and it's not complete yet. Well, you're submitting it this week, but you're going to add to it in later modules. Okay, so you're going to do the subsequent readings in the next module. Go ahead and update your wiki page. That doesn't change the link to the page. The web link is stable, it doesn't change. So I just want you to get that submitted so that I have it, so that I have a place where I can start grading your readings once I'm ready to do that. One last little note, you're going to want to get a webcam. You know this already probably because of the orientation module, but go ahead and make sure you get that in this module, so that by the end of module 2, when it's time to make your progress video journal, which is where you get to chime in about how you're feeling and doing, you'll be ready to go. You'll have what you need, and there'll be more information about that in module 2, how we do that. I'm thinking about allowing you to actually meet with me online, live, like through Skype or through the Wimble Live Classroom or some other tool or actually Blackboard IM is actually probably a good way to do that. So if you don't want to make an actual video and post it, maybe we could have an online meeting. So I'm trying to figure that out to see if that will work. But you're going to want a webcam for communicating your progress and speaking to me face to face, whether live or asynchronously. All right, so that is module 1. I really talked a lot, so hopefully you've kept up with me, and you know, now you don't even have to. You should look at your checklist. I was going to say you don't need to, but enjoy. Let me know how I can help, and I will see you all online.